Hello. Good morning, good day, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time zone the world you all are. It's your Blue Archive Gacha where begin artist self-proclaimed and your boy Touhou. Welcome to the stream. For today I will be trying Komeiji Koishi from the Touhou Project. At least like trying a fan art of film. Welcome. If you're not familiar with my art style, you have like on the left side some samples regarding that, and it can take like an average about 2 hours until like I'm finished with that. This time I will be yapping, so you can be free to like stay here and listening to that while looking every now and then like how my art process has been done. Sometimes I do like switch over to like regular art rather than like chibi style, but I think for today I want like to stay with chibi since I'm under time pressure, and yeah. And let's say like in a few days there will be Koishi days, so want at least like something that they're happening. But before like continuing, I would like get myself some water. Haven't drank like this morning yet, and you need to stay hydrated. Give me a moment. Alright. So let's continue, I would say. Okay. The last days for me have been like really long and exhausting, I must like say. So I'm kind of like happy that I get to stream, since it's like one of the few times where I like feel like pretty good, I would like say. Like it felt I had like to survive like 3 days of overtime again, and it really pretty much felt like me being in shackles and being like kind of a slave, a modern slave to like today's standards. Slavery is bad, yeah, but the thing is like in a lot of stories, you know, especially like isekais, it's like normal that this is like there and nothing can be like done against that really. And it's like something that reflects the real world, you know, and then like people like to think about. But a lot of people be like, this is bad, this shouldn't be the story, and then yeah. And then like discussions are not really like that possible, I suppose. But yeah, over time, it can like mess a little bit with your schedule. If you do it like once, it's like fine, but it was like 3 times in a row. Like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I lost like about 2 to 3 hours of free time. It's also like the way to get home takes like a little bit And when I like came back this midnight from like work, it was like midnight, like not like 10 p.m, but it was like Thursday 0 a.m. already. So yeah, couldn't like do much. Normally I would have been already asleep, but I had like to stay a little bit awake to make the thumbnail, do like some dailies, read like some stuff, like informing myself, you know, like regarding my future moves, and then I could like go to bed. I went like to bed like around 1 a.m, so I have like about 8 hours of sleep. Usually I spend like 7 hours or so, or 6 hours or 7 hours, but thanks to over time you feel like really exhausted that you actually need more time than actually scheduled. If the cat was like with me here, she would have kind of forced me to like wake up or so that I like follow my regular schedule, you know. And also she would have avoided me having sleep paralysis, since I woke like today up with like around like 5 a.m. or so, like with sleep paralysis. And yeah, I think like I panicked, I don't know, but there was like a little bit of panic. But I like tried to move. It's not like about moving like your toes or like fingertips or so, but I wanted to move my body, so like rolling stones. They see me rolling, eating, something like that. But yeah. But I dreamt like something like after the sleep paralysis, you know, attacked. When I like went to sleep again, I dreamt like something. Let me recall, because you do forget them if you don't like journal them somehow. I don't have anything to write really, like when I wake up I don't have much time, but I might as well talk it about on stream, I will like say. I felt like that I led a new life or something. It kind of like started off with something that for some reason we built, like there was like kind of a base or so, similar to a pyramid or so, with all its trap mechanics and everything, and like gates. And I kind of like dreamt on like escaping like this kind of building or so, or like trying to like exit there, you know. Oh, I want to go out now, and then multiple gates would like fall, you know. It's kind of like that there's a gate that's like, you know, like a garage thing that like opens, and like it can open, it can fall, but when I like pressure plates it would like fall. This wasn't only one, there were like 1, 2, 3, and then yeah, and then around here would be like a free room or so. Yeah, something like that. Streams are a little bit weird, but I was not really aware why was it there, why would it like happen. Maybe it's like kind of the metaphor of like that multiple like kind of hurdles are like in my way, you know, when I try to like to exit or so. Maybe like my current job, you know, as I like try to like I plan to like quit that job, you know, I have more time for my hobbies like with streaming, and also Steam games and whatever there like is, you know. Since this like piling up, and I do like want to finish at some point, you know. I'm not really like counting on like pension, you know, retirement, since the situation is like not really looking that great, I must like say. But yeah, when I live the life you have like now, I suppose, rather than like counting on the future. It's like something Pastor Sun would have done, to like just live in the moment rather than like looking at things long term. It has like pro and cons though, and I witnessed the cons, I must like say. But yeah, it's like more about chasing a dream rather than like safety and stability. And safety and stability can be pretty boring, pretty restricting, as if your freedom has been taken away, I suppose. But yeah, basically this is what I wanted to say like about that part of the dream. Then it went like into another sequence where I like kind of had the objective to like build everything from the start, like, and make it like successful. And what like building? Something like Stardew Valley, or something like that you have to run a restaurant or like a store or whatever, or like you know, a stall. Something like that. I worked like up in some kind of like shed. It was like pretty big one with like many different like intertwining things. And I woke like up with like a puppy and like a kitty or something like that, and something like about taking care of those, and was like really interesting to like watch those creatures, you know. It was kind of, I think, like first with like the puppy or so, where I had like to do things with. But also I remember I talked like to one guy or like two guys or so, like separately. That was like about farming or so, and like that they started like should like start to like build their crops, and we worked like around, and I showed like which spots they should like tend to and everything. And like the next guy was like something to do like with building renovations maybe, or maybe like the chef, not really sure, but it was like about business to be like booming or so. And there was like a lot of like things to do, so I think like it went like on until it was like midnight or so. It was like nighttime, like about time to go to bed or so. And the next moment I remember was like I woke like up, I slept outside with a blanket or so, the puppy was on top of me, like you know, and I think like it was kind of a golden retriever puppy also, kind of like that, kind of protected me, and for some reason didn't feel like cold, just like kept watching over me and like sleeping on me, like not even like the blanket over, it's just like on top of it or so. And yeah. But when we went like inside the shed or so, and yeah, took a bath or so, a shower, and was like all of a sudden like a lot more luxurious when like look from the outside. It's kind of like like weird, you know, like dreams are like literally like weird. Like the reasoning or like why there's like fear, it's like whack overall. At some point like Kitty like came also along also, and yeah, it wasn't really a shed. It seemed like from the outside like pretty run down, but when inside it was like a more, you know, more room than it seemed, and like more luxurious, you know, like when you like look at a tree house, be like, yeah, that's a tree house, there's just one room or so. But when you go inside, then all of a sudden you have like a 5-star hotel, like with multiple like floors, you know, and like rooms, you know. It's kind of this optical, not optical, but like illusion that actually is bigger than it like looks like, you know. And it was like pretty luxurious actually, like a mansion or so. But at the same time, like parts that like run down, and where like, okay, animals would like be here. And usually, you know, like back in the days, like with farmers and cats, it's like not really like a wonder that there are like pet animals like dogs and cats there. So I think like it really was like the objective of like building a farm, and like when I talked to a chef, maybe like about supplying them with your stocks, you know, not stocks, but like your produce, you know, something like that. And while it was like winter, you could only prepare and like so on. But I felt like it was like pretty nice life. I didn't really was connected to internet or so. I didn't use a phone or screen or anything. I just like walk around, talk to people, took care of like the pets or so. I can't remember feeding them in my dream at all. It went like the time flow was like so whack that so I assumed like you know, they already have been like kind of like taken care of. I didn't remember like really like kind of the assumption like when I had like the kind of like dream sequence where I was like, you know, trying to exit and multiple gates like were closed. That like maybe like my family was with me also. Can't remember, I was like clinging onto my dad or so, something like that. Maybe we run a business or so, I'm not sure. Like a life like in the outskirts, you know, like on land. A land, like a life that is like not in like urban, you know, like on the fields. Oh yeah. But it felt kind of nice. And as we got like things rolling and like going, you know, it was like kind of daytime, felt like a little more warmer. I woke up to like my alarm, and then I think, yeah, it was like about 8 AM or so, but so like 90 minutes before streaming. And you know, it was just like turning off the alarm, set it to later, and then like wanted to sleep for longer. And I think like from there on, like this dream chain ended also. It was kind of the abrupt ending, you know, like everything goes well. Now let's keep things forward or so, and then whoop, that ends, you know. I would have been curious about like what else would have happened, but yeah. I think that's like that's like a thing that I can like think about later, I suppose. I think like when I was like in the dream, like walking around, you know, there was a kitty, yeah, but then I was like only aware like at this point I have like one kitty or so, but when I like went further into the shed, you know, there was like a five-star hotel with multiple rooms and like 2 floors or so. There were like other cats or so, like that are like more grown up or so. I kind of like was wondering, like real me, not dream me. Wait, how did they got fed or so? Where did they get the supplies? Not really sure. But maybe it's like about, you know, when they're at the farm, they take care of like the rats or so, or like the rodents. Something like that. I suppose it must have been in this kind of way how they help like at the farm. It's not in this case of like, yeah, they help you with work or so, and they wear like they carry like all those heavy stuff with you and like helping to tend the farm. It's just like, yeah, they're just taking care of like you know, those little beings, so that they don't like eat on your crops or so, whatever, or like in the shed itself, you know, they take care of like those. I'm not like really quite sure about like the functionality, but the farmers back in the days had like a kind of function for them, so yeah. And I think like one of the reasons I kind of like dreamt about this thing is like that I remember like the day before the dream, you know, when I was like awake, I watched like something of like a puppy interacting with a kitty or so. The puppy was like bigger, like twice as big as like the kitty or so, and was like about them interacting with each other. And cats feel like pretty threatened like when you keep like eye contact with them, so the puppy was like kind of smart, you know, very gentle and like attentive enough to like keep not as much eye contact as possible. And then at some point the kitty was like more safe and like approach it like kind of like head bumping, like moving their body close to the other ones, you know, like it's like to grace them, you know, like moving the body upwards, tail was like upwards, something like that. Like felt pretty much like that they felt like at safety there. It was kind of like cute to see. Like, yeah, dogs and cats can get along. Nothing surprising, I would say. And maybe this like kind of thing that I saw like in the video kind of transferred into my stream. But then like the farming thing also, I mean, could also be like part of that I like watched some other videos before. Like usually like when you stream something, it has like aligns somewhat with your interests also, like something to fall back onto like as a reference. Since streams, you know, they are fueled by whatever is stored in your brain, you know. Even if you can't, if you seem like, I'm way too silly, I'm way too dumb, no way that I can like think of something so intelligent. There is sometimes like things that are like beyond your what you would like come up with, you know. It's just like some knowledge like stored in your brain. And some things are stored in your brain that you cannot really access anymore, you know, but still it up there. Just needs a certain trigger that you can like recall or something like that, you know. There are like things like that. I don't know how to draw her really. The things like with official Touhou arts, like Zin Sensei, Zin-sama is the god. His art is not the greatest, you know, so if you draw fan art you can like free flow kind of. If it comes to drawing them. There's not really a right or wrong, as long as the characters are recognizable, you know. As long as you recognize, hey, yeah, this Touhou character. With Koishi it's a little bit harder, I suppose, or like, like wavy hair or so. I'm not necessarily good at like drawing heads. I don't necessarily understand like the physics of that. I like look at references and call it a day, but I really want to, you know. And yeah, I probably would like to take a look. Like how this kind of thing works. Like from which angles, at the very least. You know, that you put on a hat yourself and be like, lady, and then like, you know, take like some photos and then like take as a reference. I remember like Boichi, the artist of like Dr. Stones for example, works like a lot of like photo references he does of himself. Or like when he's on a trip, like, you know, it's kind of like this kind of like Japanese tourist like meme, you know. It's just sometimes, this like was like back in the days, like Rush Hour 2 or so. Like Jackie's like on the omnibus, you know, or like the top floor, and then they're like Japanese and be like, oh, and then they take out their cameras and be like, you know, like there's paparazzis in a sense. They're generally like taking photos or so. I say like Jackie, you know. In the movie he's like Inspector Lee also. but even so, you know, he's still like no. That's Jackie. Like he embodies like a lot of like characters like based on his own personality, I suppose. But he can actually act pretty well. So that it's like not longer like Jackie or so, but yeah. But okay. How do I draw heads? I'm probably gonna take the reference from Harukawa Mui sensei. Like Urban Legend Limbo. Reason I draw like Koishi, it has like something that in a few days is like basically her birthday or so. In a few days. Like in about a week. I have like at least like something for that there. You know, like with the 9th, you know, like Chino Day. It's like also like basically her birthday when a lot of people draw Chino fan out there. They're like a lot for characters like specific days. It's not like that there's the official birthday, you know, it's just like you take those hiraganas from the name and then whatever number sounds like the closest, this would be the birthday. Koishi. Go-ishi. So like 514. She can be like read as 4, you know, and then it's kind of like that. That like the 5th of the May, 14th May is like her birthday. So it's like, yeah, in about a week. Sometimes they have like multiple birthdays or like multiple like days where you know, it's like appropriate, yeah, to draw fan of them. I know like of some like being days, you know, I followed like artists because they drew like one character mainly, you know, but I never like recognized the pattern until like I checked like onto those birthdays, you know, and then okay, it's like during those days like where I draw like Rumiya also, you know, like Rumiya is like the first boss in like embodiment of Scarlet Devil, like Touhou 6. Like this is like the kind of like Touhou where beginners would like start playing. Usually like recommended like Touhou 7, you know, but Touhou 6 would be like more in the chronological order, like Windows kind of thing. But also like thinking about Linux. I think like when the Steam machine is out, you know, I will like fully go to Linux also. And maybe changing my email address and everything. Let's see. This will take a long time. Okay, this has been like about 30 minutes. It's pretty dirty, I am aware. But I don't really care that much. Just like try to finish it. I have usually not been successful like drawing Koishi, like when I draw like her in regular form. Unless it's like those black and white or so. I like try drawing like doujinshi or like let's say like a fanfic, but like manga form, let's say like that. But it didn't really came far. Didn't have motivation at some point. It was like somewhere 2019, 2020 or so. I had like this kind of thought. The reason why I like wanted to draw that in the first place is like when looking at her backstory, you know, like when you know like multiple characters, you like check and you're like pretty interested in them, you know, you check like about the wiki or like wherever like there are in the story, like there are like things like fan canon, you know. With the canon we have like the games, you have like the game manuals, you know, like what's on the backside printed, the wiki, you have like some manga series, you know, like out there that like part of the main series, you know. There are also like some books as well, and that explain a lot more. And some characters like Koishi have like multiple themes, like music themes, you know, BGMs or like, you know, character themes. And Koishi has been always like really interesting, and it's like one of the few that got like continuation to her story, where she is maybe like able to like escape like doom and like her sad fate or so. But then yeah, there has not been much. Well, actually, so like she made her first experience in subterranean animism. So I think like Touhou, which one was that? 9, 11 or 12? Probably 9. Yeah, SA. Subterranean animism. Subterranean animism was like a pretty dark themed like game. I mean, you go underground and so, but as you go like deeper, you see like a lot of characters that themes are like pretty dark also. And let's say like my favorite cast is like in subterranean animism. Like if Misashi Pashi, you know, like about she's like the Hashihime, bridge princess or so. And theme is like something like about like envy, you know. Or with Satori, so it's like the mind reader kind of thing. Mind readers have like, you know, the kind of drawback like when they're able to like see the things that like people are like hiding, you know, that she can also like get emotional damage or so. And I imagine she has been affected so much that she is like kind of like that she has like those dark eye rings, you know, depressed, you know, and yeah, like she's able to like understand animals, you know, so she's popular with animals and you know, like in this world. But with like humanity, you know, she's like pretty much like secluded. At least I haven't like seen her much around humans or so. And even like Reime and like Marisa, you know, when I met her, like I kind of weirded out that she could like see in her mind. I haven't said anything. Yeah, I was able to read your mind or something like that, then yeah. And the thing is like, Koishi here is the sister of Satori Komeiji, and there's like the thing of like when they're sisters, they share the same powers or so. So Koishi was like back in the days like able to do that, but she is not able to do anymore, and this has like something to do with her lore or so. And like now she has the ability to like control the subconsciousness, and different from like Satori, you know, who's like, I suppose, like the grumpy, depressive girl. She's like kind of empty also, that the life in her eyes is like not there anymore. She seems to smile, very expressive and so, but her eyes don't laugh or so, you know, something like that, like the Mr. Beast kind of thing. Like a lot of people like point out, like his mouth is smiling but his eyes are not, or something like that, you know. In her sense, it's like that she shut off herself and she does like things unconsciously. So like ability to control the subconsciousness or so. Yeah, and that like things are like on instinct or rather than like on a thought basis or something like that. And like kind of exploring like this kind of thing is pretty interesting, you know. Koishi can also like mean little pebble, you know, that she, like the way you pay attention is like kind of like a little pebble like that on the side street or so, that you don't, you know, it's there but you don't really pay attention to it, you know. They're like really that inconspicuous, so she can blend in but you will not notice they're like being there. Like sometimes like when you see like comments, you know, to like a video that includes like Koishi, be like, huh, where's Koishi, you know, and then, oh, Koishi was there, and then the comments would be like, no, she was not there, I just saw a little pebble there, something like that. And yeah, it's kind of like this who's Rem meme, you know, like that a lot of people like play along with like who's Rem, you know, because yeah, they can't remember her. Like in this moment of the episode they are not able to remember her anymore. And this is kind of like the same thing there. There's like this kind of running gag, but at the same time it's like something like tragic as well. But we like meme around with it to like cope, I suppose. And yeah. And Koishi, she won like the Touhou popularity contest like once. I haven't like kept up with it much anymore, but the last time, like I look maybe 2020, 2021, 2019, not really sure, like it has been like pretty a long time, she was like #1, and it's kind of like showed that the community knows who's a well-written character, and she seemed like to be like pretty much that. If you like clear like 1cc on normal or like hard mode, I think, then you're like able to unlock the extra stages, and then you can like face their Koishi, you know, like fight against her and like find out more about her. The thing is, like when you fight against her and then you hear like the music and then like the spell cards she will like shoot out, you know, the attack patterns, there's like something that you can read about it, like with the character personality or so. Like what are they? How are they? How do they? You know? And this gives like a little bit of deeper insight. You will probably be unable to like first try it, you know, so we have to repeat the fight over and over again, and then this like grows your connection and appreciation like for the boss a lot more. I was not able to like ever watch CC Subterranean Animism, so I cannot really like tell anything experience, you know. The only like extra stage I could have was like able to clear was like in Touhou 15, Touhou 16, not really sure anymore. This was like with Okina Matara, like the backdoor girl or so. Backdoor hag. No, not Okina Matara. Yeah, Okina Matara was like the one who creates idols also. Like the clay things. I think this was like someone else. I can't really remember anymore. It has been like a long time. I've like kept up much of Touhou anymore, but I heard there are like new games, new girls, you know. So So when I have like more free time, I will probably like check that out and probably mold there. I still have like my Touhou senses or so, but it's like for the most part normal modes. I rather want to draw like more about Touhou than like to like game. But sometimes gaming is important. But yeah, for extra stages that I was able to unlock was like Touhou 6 and Touhou 7. And I think like in 14, 13 I was able to unlock it. But let's say I didn't really came far. Touhou 6 I had like a lot of like battles against Flandre, but I've always like was like stuck on the parts where it goes like spiraling or so. Like, let's draw it here. Like Flandre's here, and she would like do a skill. It kind of look, a spell card looks like this, and then it would like rotate like clockwise. There's a blind spot like in front of her, so. But normally you should like stay here and like move with it so that you don't get hit or something like that. And I always like failed at this part. I was like not really able to adjust my speed really. But maybe if I do it the next time, maybe I can adapt. Like since I played like a lot of fighting games or like Smash Bros, where like adapting is important, you know. It's not like a video game character that does like the same move over and over again. It's like someone who like mixes up like rock, paper, scissors, you know. Maybe. I'm not sure. Would it be interesting to watch? Not really, I suppose. But a game session can be pretty quick, like 30 minutes. If you do it like successive, I'll continue. And even if it doesn't like work well, the music is like a banger. Music is great. So it's like something that you can keep as a BGM. But to be honest, I don't know if it's a good stream content, I must like say. I don't know if it's good stream content. Yeah, it looks kind of okay. Looks kind of worse from, slightly worse from this angle, but it's okay. But yeah, like with Koishi. Continues in like, I think like 13.5 or 12.5, not really sure. It was like a fighting game thing, like about hopeless masquerade or so, like that Hata no Kokoro, like a no yokai, like a mask yokai, you know. You see like those Japanese masks, like the Oni mask, the laughing mask, the troll mask also. That they symbolize like kind of emotions like happiness, anger. There's like a fox mask as well, something like that. And she like expresses herself with that and like draws her power out of that as well. I'm always curious like about those emotions. And she lost like her mask of hope or so. If you reach the ending of that game, you know, and fight the final boss, it's like Koishi who got the Mask of Hope. And with that, you know, she was like hopeless or so, like what her kind of backstory like implicized. but like her backstory kind of like had like the hint about that, and that now that she's like able to like have hope again. This was a kind of good moment. And it was like in Fanart kind of like side that like get along afterwards, you know, because the thing is like the expressive poker face Kokoro, you know, she can express herself. She is like pretty emotional, like get happy, be angry and so, but the face completely poker face, stone cold. While with Koishi, she's able to express herself really, you know, you can like see the happiness, anger, you know, the body language and everything, but the face, like let's say the eyes are like completely dead, like no light in there, something like that. Like one has emotions but can't show it, one has no emotions but can show emotions, you know. They would have gotten perfectly along, but kind of like in canons, like they hate, Kokoro hates the guts of like Koishi or something like that, and then yeah, but writing wise, it would have been better if they be friends or something like that, you know? Something like that. So yeah. That they're like friends basically. Because this kind of dynamic is like fucking cute, I must like say. Like when one is like, you know, the sunshine, the other's like, you know, sunshine protector, something like that, you know? But the thing is like, Koishi is not really a sunshine because she emits light but there's no warmth in it, you know? While Coco, she emits warmth but no light, something like that. It's a little bit weird, but it's really interesting. Like the Touhou lore about characters. And when there are like character songs of like, you know, let's say like from Touhou doujin circles, like music circles, you know, it gets pretty interesting, like what they cook, you know, what they come up with on ideas. I'm like pretty interested in Misashi Pashi also as well. Well, I like say that Koishi is like a really well written character, I must like say. There's like a lot of potential with her. One like, yeah, for a reason like popularity contest, you know. For me, waifu wise, it would be like maybe Alice Maggot, right? Or like Misashi Pashi. Pashi is like also in Subterranean Animism, like Touhou 9. It looked better with the sketch, but okay. This is also sketchy. She had boots, so... I think I grew more appreciation for like Koishi after I like watched like something that has been fan made, you know, like something of Fanart. Like a series from like Doku Sensei that watched like by the Touhou subs channel. It was like called Why Koishi Smiles. And it was like an unlisted video, so you have like the access via a playlist. It was like really secretive or so, I suppose. because I probably think they wanted like credit the maker of that, but language barrier, so they put like an unlisted thing, so if people are like really interested in that, then they had like the access to playlist or so. And the channel has been dead since 2019 or so. Like, was really great work they like did connected like the fandom of like other people, you know. And at some point stopped. But was like really good what they like, did like with the translation alone, because I could like see, man, the Touhou fandom is so creative. They're cooking it, you know. But now I have to learn Japanese myself. I would like want to see like more of that. But like some of those also stopped well. Like there was like the series like Burning Mailing, for example, you know. It was like focusing on around like mailing from EUSD, embodiment of Scarlet Devil, and like the what's it called? STM Mansion crew, like Pachi, Remy, Londori, Sakuya, Wakuma maybe as well, but she has not been seen there. It was like mainly around like mailing, and then it's like, yeah, we have a TV as a prize, you know, if you defeat mailing in a fist fight, you know, martial arts, no Damaku magic or so, then you get a prize or something like that. I think like it went like for a few episodes or so. What was the first one? Can't remember really. I remember like there was Yomu and there was Reisen. I think Reisen won. Not really sure anymore. And then episode 4 there was like a turning point or so, where she fought like against Hoshigami Yugi. She's like part of the Subterranean Animism crew or so, Oni, you know. And it was kind of established or later on that Oni have like superhuman strength, you know, and that they're incredibly strong. Mailing is like, I don't know if she's like a yokai or whatever. Maybe she is, but then what is like their power really? It was only like, yeah, martial arts or so. She's gatekeeper or something like that. And it was like kind of like about throwing hands, like about martial arts, you know, that she like fought against Hoshigami Yugi. And the turning point was like basically that she lost heart. Spoiler alert, this is a thing that has been like over a decade old, you know, against her. And then her pride was like hurt, she was ashamed or so. It was something like about a promise made to like flaunt little girl, you know. I only lost because you went there, but now that you're here, I will not lose. Something like that. It's like kind of like, nah, I twin, and then you like lose. Something like that, you know. Then ashamed, like she was like unconscious after like Yugi, Hoshigami Yugi like bet the crap out of her. She was like up in, where was this? Morai, the horror area. I don't know. Like this is like where Touhou 8 played. Infinite Night. Yeah, something like that. Like where Reisen, Kaguya, Hime, and so on, like where she has been treated there or something like that. And then she went on her training arc, something like that. And it has been stuck on the training arc like since episode 6 or so. And episode 6 hasn't been released in like years, 3, 4, 5 years or so. It's been like kind of like stated that like animations take a long while, like nowadays makes via Blender, like those few minute fights or like girl fights, you know, sometimes are a little seriously like that on the second channel, takes like about a month, but if he like tries to do a whole series like maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, can take maybe like half a year or like a whole year or so. And he seems to be cooking, I don't know, or maybe he gave up, I'm not really sure, but I will wait. They're like those kind of like examples of like pretty banger like kind of creations, you know. It's like kind of like watching a Hong Kong action movie, you know, and like seeing like the cool action choreography and like girls from hands, you know, like it's just like based on the characters you like from a game or like a show. And because Touhou is like pretty nice regarding like fan work, you know, pretty tolerant against that. Sometimes you need this allowance, you know, if it comes like to video games. But Zun is like pretty much a goat regarding like that. So a lot of like cool work like came out. Of course, I also was like kind of like into the Siri kind of part, you know, because Gensokyo, you know, the cast of like Touhou has like a lot of like girls, you know, but but yeah, it was like kind of nice to see. Also like the fan translated like manga strips or so that were like there. It was like nice. But now I can't really like watch more of the fan content. I had actually like to like read the manga series, you know, the official ones. I read like some, but I think like I forgot like majority of that now. I think like I read like a little bit of the one like where it's like with Hieda no Akyu and like this library girl, Kosusu, I think. But also, I think like I kind of stopped around the point where I like heard that there was like a shark girl, whale girl. I forgot what her name was, but there was a whale girl, like pink hair, and has like a head. Oh, sorry, that looks like a whale head or so. I think this was maybe around 2021 or 2022. Not quite sure anymore. But I saw like a fan game like about to release, like Touhou, something with Bloom or so, and there was the main character's like Hata no Koko. She's like my, in terms of like aura, she's like my favorite character there, like Hata no Koko. She is what pulled me deeper in, like while I started to appreciate the Touhou fandom and franchise because of like a fan game I like played, Koko pulled me deeper in. There was like, you know, like when you hear songs that are anime-ish, but they don't have an anime. I listened like to a song because I kind of like, yo, the thumbnail is fire, you know. This was like kind of the album cover of like Touhou album or so, from a Touhou Dojo circle like called Felt, F-E-L-T, just Felt, and the song was called Croissant Moon, Crescent Moon, Croissant Moon, I don't know how you pronounce it. It was like basically like a remix of like Hata no Koko's theme song, and it had like vocals and so, and it was like, holy damn, this banger. And then because I liked the song, there were like a little song of the English, like also like some parts that are like sung in English as well, you know, like an anime opening, you know, that I pick like a random sentence or like random word in English and then like include in the song. And I was kind of like, you know, when I heard like how this English has been sung, kind of like, man, I'm kind of curious, you know, like who's this character, and then yeah, this is like kind of my connection to like Hata no Koko, you know. She had like aura, she had like a cool theme, you know, on like a character design, but also music, you know, and abilities, and then yeah, I probably think I will like get this game, maybe like play it on stream. I'm pretty sure I will not get many viewers because it's such so niche already. But yeah, it's gonna be like something that's like part of the Metroidvania like thing. So yeah, maybe I can like interest like people in playing it. I don't know, but it's just like, yeah, it's that, it's indie game. It's a little bit wonky because indie, but I like it, you know. Then yeah, I say like wonky, but probably will be pretty perfect. It will be perfected also. It's still in early access, but I think like it doesn't take long until it's like ready. I saw like some trailers being released. I think like they're like about to greenlit it and like release it to the public. So like 1 hour has been passed. So I have like at max 1 more hour before I quit this stream. But man, Touhou music slaps. If it's the original or like the remixes from like the Dojin circles on Touhou. I sure like want to go back, but I don't have time. I'm about to quit like Umamisimi as well. I just have to pull my Topka on Halloween and then I'm done. And I think like I will only like tune in when I want to read the main story. Or like react to the main story, because I mainly like voice acted already. Or whatever. I still have like some other games played, like Brown Dust 2 or so, but I think like if I want ever to experience a story on stream, you know, I will like get back to it. I think like maybe try out Stellar Sora, but maybe I'll make a video series, not sure, like regarding gacha games streaming. A video can like work out if I talk about it and you spend only like 10 minutes rather than like hours with me. They don't need necessarily like spoil the entire story, but just like a part of it, you know. And I leave that rest up to you. Like if I want to really support a game, like with Blue Archive I'm kind of like mixed, you know. I already invested so much time and like some money in it, you know. Well, I cannot predict the future, you know, with the future of a game. Blue Archive is not in a state where I really like it anymore. I'm still sticking around. Hope dies last. I know like also there's a gacha game to like Touhou, like Touhou Lost Words. But I'm not really into like playing gacha. I think I will read the manga. I will play the games. Maybe watch like some fan and stuff that I made like via MMD animations or like drawings. Osanareme was like also like kind of banger, I must like say. There was this kind of question, you know, the first boss was like Rumia, and the stage 1 bosses in Touhou are like pretty easy to beat, but then the abilities to manipulate darkness, and when people were like thinking, man, this is a powerful power, you know, why she's a stage 1 boss. There must be lore reasons, you know, something like that. And then people like cooked something. It's pretty legendary. Like in the game, it was kind of implied that she only controls darkness, you know, she just makes a dark sphere around her, and it's like, holy crap, it was daylight before, why it's now dark? And then you see like in the middle of in the center of the darkness sphere, like a little girl and be like, oh, a little girl, hey, what's up with you? Are you crying or so? And then you approach, and then you get like, eaten by a yokai, you know, by her. Something like that. It's kind of like fire? No, firefly, not. Like will-o-wisp, you know, where like when you walk like around in the swamp, you know, it's like you can't like see really much because the air wetness, I don't know how to call it, it's like pretty high that it like creates like fog, you know, you can't like see much. But then those will-o-wisps or so, could be like fireflies actually. You see like those lights approach and then you get like drowned, you know, because you entered like the swamp, the watery. It's like a pretty much like sand that puts you like down or something like that. Not sure how you call it, like quagmire or so. Like something muddy mixed with sand and water. Like muddy earth, you know, when you like get dragged down. And it's not like that, it's like thin liquids, like thick liquids or something like that. Make it like really weigh you down a lot more. Something like that. In any case, like with Rumia, this was like kind of like, I think like the intention, but people were like, yo, she must be much more powerful than that, right? And then yeah. Regarding the eating thing, it was like kind of like, it was kind of like based on the interaction between like Reim and Rumia, you know? Hey, can I eat you? And something like that, you know, like kind of a man-eater. And Reim answered like, you know, good medicine tastes bad, you know? Kind of like roasting her, but also like, oh, 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 like the Reim was kind of badass. A lot of like players like Reim and Marisa, they're like pretty much cool and badass in a sense. The two main characters in the series. In a lot of popularity polls, they're like, for the most part, top 3. If not top 2. Female players also like them too. Maybe like, oh, those are like people I can look up to, you know, cool and badass. But also have like personality quirks, you know, as well. But Marisa's like the hard worker, while Reim's like the blessed one, you know. Like has some cheat powers, you know. And Marisa has no cheat powers, but yeah. But the thing is, like, thanks to Damaku, it's like a lot more fair, like regarding the battle system, like when they fight each other. Things like a lot of like characters in Touhou, they have like hacks ability, kind of like abilities like basically like hacking, like really overpowered, let's say like that. Some are able to control the time, like can stop the time. Some are like able to like escape reality, you know, like fly from reality, like Reim is like pretty OP kind of, you know. Some can like manipulate the borders, you know, order from point A to B, so that you can get an instant border between life and death, you know. You can just drink the border, then they will die instantly. They can control, you know, like with going from point A to B, like creating like portals or so, like Yakumo Yukari or so. Some are like able to like influence like poverty or something like that. There's a poverty goddess, there's a fortune goddess, you know, something like that. There's like a lot of like things like based on like the Japanese kind of like mythology or so, like the demons, yokais, you know, like the guardians in our worlds, something like that. But also we have like isekai like Sanae, you know, something like that. Who is like kind of like the 2000s or so, like an area where they're like PlayStation 2, Game Boy, Sega, Genesis or so. Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo Entertainment System, yeah, something like that. That she's a boomer basically. And then there's sometimes like this meme, what? But the Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1, the Xbox are like still pretty new or something like that, you know? What? Why are you telling me those are outdated? Something like that, you know. We have like things like Switch, Wii, Nintendo DS. Okay, that's outdated, but like the Switch, we have a Switch 2, we have like a PlayStation 5, you know, Steam Machine, Steam Deck. Hell, what are those, you know? But I think we have a future where we maybe only need a Steam Machine, I suppose. I will try to get one, even if it costs like a fortune. But then this will be the only console I need, hopefully. A console like PC, yeah. I will probably like sell my PC. Then, and yeah. Okay, how do I do this? Those I have to erase, just so that I have like a reference. So like how those are connected. She has like some things that are like string-like around her body. Those are part of her body also. And this eye, this like eyeball, big eyeball is like closed. It's like basically the halos of like Blue Archive students, you know, for like a Satori like her, like mind reader, but she was a mind reader, not anymore. She closed her eye, she closed herself off from everyone, so that she can only be like unconsciously be like sensed. When you like watch those fan works like MMD or like animations or so, and those are like built like episodes, you know, and let's say there's a crowd, you know. Usually like crowds in anime are like some random NPCs, you know, but sometimes you see like her also in the crowd, if you pay attention. It's kind of intentional that she's like part of the crowd, you know, part of the NPCs rather than like the main cast, because that's her ability, that she is like really hard to sense. Like, you know she's there, but you don't pay attention to her, you know? This is like kind of her ability. If you like have a meeting with her, so you will forget her the next moment. It's like kind of the subconsciousness there that gets like manipulated. And it's kind of interesting. Like that, which is like part of her backstory. Like why she was able to like read minds, but now she closed off her mind, you know, and then it's like a lot more harder to sense her, like as if she's hiding, you know. And some people like speculated that it's like a pretty dark story, like with her. A sad and dark story. Like a tragic one. And when people like dig further, theorize a lot more, they notice like how good of a character, written character she is, you know, when she like won the awards of like most popular characters, so like once. I haven't like followed the other ones, of course, I must like say, but maybe I can like see a summary, I don't know. Like the thing is like it's a Japanese focused like thing, like with Touhou rather than like the West, but there are like fans in the West as well. I will probably like draw like next week another, or like in the next 2 weeks another fan art of of a character of the. I'm gonna like maybe draw Kokoro-chan. She was the character that pulled me like deeper in. I'm like going to do that. Maybe like in the Cross-Sun Moon cover style. The cover like album style. I'm gonna borrow some colors. Ah, this is like poisonous green. That's really hard. To come up like with the colors, I suppose. For Touhou characters. Since there's not really like official art you can rely on. Sometimes you have to experiment like with the colors yourself to get something that you're like happy with. If you like follow the original like in Sin Sensei's art, Sin Summer's art, this one says games, it gets like pretty whack. He's not a good artist. I think he peaked at like Perfect Cherry Blossom, but then yeah. But it was interesting like how he did like the character art, you know. Like it was a lot of analog, not digital. Like digitally drawing like things were not like really a thing back in the days. And it was like really interesting like how video game creators would like do the art and like transfer it into the game, like make it digital, you know. Like for analog to digital. But now you can like do digital art, like drawing tablet and so, and Zin also like switch to like the digital like approach. I think like works now easier. Did it like make the quality better? Not necessarily though, I would say. But it's fine. But you know, it kind of makes me appreciate like the older art style, the older like art with like the paintings like a lot more. Maybe I should like try like something like more brushes rather than like pens, you know? When I like draw like illustrations. Like illustrations instead of like colored artwork, you know, rather than like black and white. Ah, gosh. Oh gosh. I did paint on the wrong layer. Whatever. I kinda miss some of the creators of those two animated MDs. Some really had like a really banger story, like cooking. But then they stopped. It came for some it's like the reason of like not a disclosed reason, you know. It might be like burnout, it might be like, oh, I lost interest. But there was like one tragic story, you know, where they were like really banger produced episodes. I think like the series, if you call like in English, was like called The Maid That Traveled Back in Time or so. So like Sakuya. That's like a Sakuya centered like fan and story. Or fan-made story, yeah. Episode 1 is translated on Touhou subs. Episode 2 is like, if you like just enter the title and then episode 2 also. And then it's like kind of stopped there. And it had like potential to be pretty good because the build up and the structure of like the episodes were really well done. And the kind of balance between like animation and like stills, you know, they've been like well done too. You also saw like Koishi like as a background character again. Yeah, as well. But yeah, the reason like they stopped was like, I forgot like the name of the creator. Was that they got like doxxed or so. Maybe like people hated his work or so. Something like that. And because they got like hurt, you know, they shut themselves off from like internet or so. Never to like share and produce anything ever again, you know. Internet is a good thing because, in a sense, because you don't like keep everything to yourself, but you know, you share like your artwork, you know, like your vision, and let the world be entertained. But some people do be pretty whack, especially like Japanese internet culture, so like the dark side of like, you know, the black mirror of like entertainment industry, something like that, like Oshinoko. I don't know, like the antis or so, whatever. It's a pretty sad story, I would like say, because man, I cook so damn hard. I mean, I will never get to see the continuation. It's like this JoJo meme in like JoJo Bizarre's Adventure Part 3 with like Joseph Joestar, where he's like, I will never forget the Japanese! That's just so unnecessary. Now it's not possible to like see this peak any longer. You can make your own fanfics, I suppose, and cook like how the continuation would like go. But the original wish is not there, sadly. Never got to see the light of day of like episode 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like how this generally would like end. How would this go? You saw like some kind of trailer, some of preview, you know, but that's it. It's gone, it's gone. Such a waste. Mottai ne. Like to summarize like what happened there, like in the story, what kind of like made me hooked like about that. It started like off normally, but it was like a little bit of foreshadowing like there that they were like partially, they were like familiar, you know. They were like in front of like a circle, like a summoning circle or something, looked like the one. They were like casting magic. And they said like something in the sense that the only hope is like you, maybe like Sakuya or so. And then it goes like over to like Sakuya. She's like in the human village or so, to make like some shopping. And she would like meet Aya there, and it's about the exchange of like some information for a scoop or so. And if she wins, she gets some information, and like a Damako battle would like do. And if Sakuya wins, she would get her piece also for the day. And it's like only one spell card they can like choose for each other. Aya would like choose Wind God Girl, and Sakuya the World. Aya Shamamero is like known as the fastest in Gensokyo, but Sakuya can just stop time when the speed is like you know, not really like necessary. But as she stopped time, something weird happened, like with the world. And she kind of noticed that, so she wanted to like undo the spell cards, but still the time was stopped. And then like, some rumbling would like happen also, and she found herself back like in the past or so. So I think like it wasn't shopping, but she had like to go to a certain shrine, the Moria shrine or so. So she went there, and then it was like completely gone, the Moria shrine. This was like where Sanae, Suwako, and like Kanako were. Those kind of like goddesses there. Sanae was like the shrine maiden there that got like isekai'd. And so she went like back to the Scarlet Devil Mansion to like get help or like you know, plan her steps from there. But then Mei Ling would stop her, you know, not recognize that it's Sakuya, you know, something like that. Can't let any intruders in, and it's like, it's me, Sakuya, you don't recognize me or something like that. And yeah, it was like there like a little bit of a battle. She didn't recognizing that she traveled back in time also, and would have a face off. So she would like activate her spell cards the world, throw her knives as a setup, you know. And if time like continues, that they would like all like fly towards Mei Ling. But the thing is like in Touhou, Sakuya's a stage 5 boss and Mei Ling's a stage 3. So usually you think like Sakuya got in the bag. But after time got like to flow again, Mei Ling saw like all the knives, like eyed them, and then did like parried all of them. She was like surrounded by the knives, like from all directions. Like she parried all of those. She did like this kind of whirlwind thing or something like that. Sakuya got caught off guard by that, and then you could only see a frame where Mei Ling was approaching her, about to punch her or something like that. And then Remilia would send her away, block that, and then said something along the line of like, finally we're here, and welcome Sakuya to the past or so. It was like kind of episode 1, I think, and it would like continue like with episode 2, like about her purpose, like there, why was she like summoned there, because Remilia said, yeah, I was waiting for you, welcome, something like that. And something happened like back then, so that they needed like her help to like undo it. Remilia has like kind of ability to influence the fate or so, manipulate fate or something like that, and maybe she wanted to like Sakuya like to do something for her. It's like always like with the thing with like the mistress and the mage, something like that, that you order like your subordinate like to do stuff. And Sakuya, as a human, you know, somewhat of an underdog, but she has like a powerful ability, so maybe she can do something. And things that are like things that have like something to do with time and space, or like time leap, for example, you know, can be pretty interesting and like unpredictable. there are like a lot of stories like that. Some are like kind of copying from each other, but it can be like pretty cool, like whatever you can create there, like summertime rendering or so. If you're already like hooked with like V0 for example, when the save point is like changing. It was like kind of an incident there that the time would not behave well, and they need like Sakuya to like do something about that also. But they're not really like sure like where to start, kind of. Well, I kind of like told a summary. It's kind of like sounds a little bit too lackluster, I don't know, but the thing is like the animations and like the kind of choreography, the balance between like stills animated like kind of frames, it was like pretty much there. It was pretty high level, and I think it was a one-man project or so, and in the sphere of like fan-made it's like pretty well done. And they already like made episode 2, they were like planning like for more, and then yeah, the momentum stopped because I don't know, Japanese cancel culture, online media is like so weird. Like as I don't have like good reasons to like do things, you know. But yeah, a person got like hurt dogs, and then they never share their work with the internet ever again. It will still all be their head or like still on a PC or so, and yeah. It has been like years since then. Episode 2 was like kind of great as well, I must like say. It like developed the character of like Patchouli like a lot. It was like a time where Sakuya and like Patchouli did not know each other, you know. But Sakuya knew from her from the future, you know, like the maid from the future. Sakuya would like know her, like she was like this and that, she had asthma, and she looked like out for her. Yeah, you have to tidy up everything, this is like bad for asthma, you know. You have some tea or something like that, and Pachi was like, don't touch me or something like that, and they had like to like warm up to each other. It was like kind of the slow but like steady like kind of approach. It was pretty interesting. It had like a plot twist at the end as well, like another turning point. And it was like kind of like sick, like with the turning, like how like quickly like things can like turn, and like it was just a few episodes, but it kind of like hooked me, you know. And I just wanted like to see more, but I can't see more, sadly. I rewatched it like about, I don't know, 5 or 10 times, and you know, and it was just like crying because not only it's like good, but I will never get to see the continuation. It's like really sad for me. Maybe like for a lot of other like fans that like enjoyed the series. But what's also sad is like Touhou subs, like the channel has not continued anymore uploading. Maybe the channel owner died. I can't say a reason because it was like so fast and abrupt, you know. There was no announcement or anything. They just left all of a sudden. And now we just wait for their return or someone else to like take them, like if they are alive, you know, wait for their return, or if someone else can take up the mantle of like, you know, alright, I'll do it, you know. But yeah, Touhou's already so niche. You need someone who's interested in the Touhou series, someone can translate from Japanese to English, and like to narrow down, there are not many people willing to, or like able to do it in the first place, you know. Also respecting the source material, like they sourced the source in there, shout out to the original artist, you know, so that, you know, like to support them, also like where the original video is. For the most part, it was like from Nico Doga, you know. They look like on the Japanese sites, you know, those things up, then ask for permission to like sub that, and then when they got the permission, they subbed it, put on a channel. It was like continuous series when they put like the original playlist unlisted, you know, like episode 1 would be like listed and the rest unlisted or so. If you really want to see more, then click on the playlist or something like that. That like really everything like well ordered, like and there was like system behind it. It was like kind of like my personal treasure, you know. Of course I watch anime and everything, but this was like a niche hobby of mine that only I got like to enjoy really in my inner circle. And I really wanted to share like this kind of interest with other people, and but when there's always like a little bit of a hope, oh, this one guy's interested in Touhou, let me share the amazing world, you know. Oh, sit down little kid, I have an amazing story to tell like about Touhou franchise and its fandom. And then after I would like start the first sentence or like share like the first video, and then the next day is one more, the next day is one more, and the next day is one other more, they'd be like, I don't know, giggling or like weirded out, and I kind of took this offense and be like, oh, you're not one of us, I'm sorry. Then I would like leave, peace out. And don't really have a person to like really share this kind of hobby with, like my obsession like with Touhou I had like back in the days. So yeah. This was kind of that. Was so amazing. Like what I shared about like not only like those MMD series or like Osanareme, but also like those music videos that have like a lot of like meaning and like lore about the characters, like from Shinra Bansho, like Nitaminity Theater. There was like a music video, and the music videos Shinra Bansho would like do is like amazing. And they can also like do their original songs like Kirameki Dai Senso. You know, like from the VTuber scene, like Shigeru Ui Sensei with her Lollikami Requiem, this animation and everything. Actually, like in Shinra Bansho, there was like a project music video where the character design is like made by Shigeru Ui. Then they made us the same guy who like did Lollikami Requiem, you know. And I think like there they got the connection like to each other. And actually this like work of Kiramaki Dai Senso is like banger. It's like original like song of like Shinra Bansho, who usually like produce like Touhou music remixes. But this theme of like Kirameki Dai Senso is like about sports and like culture. So like a bookworm and like someone who's interested into sports and like this kind of thing. And like put those two in a ring and like let them fight each other, something like that. Like a battle between those two, but just like stronger. Something like that, you know? The thing is like culture is like the thing that define like the human like kind of treasures like back in the days. Like stories, like habits, like some buildings, you know. While like sports, let's say like or muscle versus the fighting art, you know, baseball, you know, like a lot of those different sports, they also define a culture and also like made up entertainment survival, you know, and what is like more important or so, or what is stronger. in a sense, it came like kind of to the end of the day, like cooperate the meaning of the song, but the animations kind of slapped as well in there, and like with the storytelling. And this was like, I think, like the most ambitious like kind of project, because oh gosh, like Kira Meki Dai Senso Shinra Bansho, it's called. Shinra Bansho is the circle, and Kira Meki Dai Senso is the title. I think if you type it in English letters, I don't know if it's show up, but yeah, maybe it will. I don't know. But yeah, I was like really fascinated with like those music videos they were like do. Some are like pretty cute and so, and like uplifting, but when it explored like characters, you know, like ballads, you know, man, those kind of slap. Those kind of slapped. Like regarding love the characters, make them more deep or so. I was a fan of like Feld for a long time. They didn't have any music videos, but like the lyrics would like slap already. Sometimes they had only English only songs, you know, like we had like sung by Japanese, but it's like pronunciation is like so good that you think like, yeah, this is like native English or so. And it had like a lot of like feelings in that, like felt. Man, I felt that, you know. But this kind of music circle quit like around 2021? Kind of the beginning of 2020s or so. They retired. And it's kind of like, yeah, end of the era for me, like there as well. Where whenever like some of your goats like quits, like with Touhou subs, or like the one guy who like made the M&D series of like the maid who traveled back in time. I know there's like, maybe it might be based on like the movie The Girl Who Traveled Back in Time, but when I look at the description of like both of those, it's not really like, it's only the name they have in common, but the story or the general like plot is not the same. So the guy really cooked. I am like someone who aspires to be a mangaka and like write my own stories, but man, sometimes being a consumer is not so bad, you know, because there are talented people, really skilled people, people with a vision out there that can like make something so great, and you want to support it as well, you know. So I just take a job and enough money, throw my money at it and be like, please keep going, you know. I work for you so that you can like work on this kind of gems, something like that. This was kind of a reason for me like to pick up my job, but now I have less and less reason to support anyone because they all quit, or like the company they work for is like kind of like wonky with its like morale. You know, that they sell their soul to become millionaire rather than like to support someone's dreams, you know? Like VTuber stuff, right? So that at some point I do not want to support anyone else's dream, but like only my own ones, you know, in a sense. I think kind of understandable. The thing is, I only need time. I have motivation, but I don't have time. I spend a lot of time sleeping these days. And maybe gacha games, so I have to consider stopping gacha games. The Blue Archive, for example, like I think I supported. I'm strongly considering not supporting anymore. I must like say. I will like look into Stellar Sora, because from what I saw, like on recent videos, not like from last year, but like recent videos, it has like a storytelling style and a theme that's really interesting to me. I might like I might do a video series rather than a live stream series, I don't know. Like, I will not spoil the whole story, you know, like I'll fully read along, but maybe like, you know, summarizing it, I suppose. Like a let's play, you know, I suppose. If I have time though. Like, I have to quit my full-time job in order to have time, and then like use this time to like work on stuff. Like, I have some projects, but I can't like push forward because I don't have time. I need to sacrifice my sleep if I want to, but then yeah, this will be bad in the long term. You know, if you have to destroy your own body to like make progress in the first place, and this is not really something I can do. Like, if you get sick, this can get expensive, you know, is the thing. And sometimes we need the money for something else. It's kind of like, like with current times. But okay. Let me see. Multiple red tones, maybe? Also have to move the picture like a little bit lower, I suppose, more center. It's not my proudest work, but it's a start. But yeah, it feels like always good for me that I can like talk about Touhou, you know, the things that had been like stuck on my mind. I feel like really like happy when I can like chat, have like a little bit of satsudan. I think like games like Minecraft would be also like great for me, because you have a lot of times to like satsudan while you like work on something. But I think like, even while Minecraft can be like great, I think like art is like more on the productive side. I think Minecraft might only like really worth it if you are like multiplayer, so sometimes you can get interrupted, but this is like the spice, you know, the spice of surprise. When something unexpected can happen. If those random collabs, you know. Spontaneous collabs. But yeah, people telling a story, telling like something compelling, leaving a message. I kinda want to join that. But it's like at this rate where you can only like support your own ideas, you know, not someone else's. You can't expect like someone else to support you. Like if you look at the state of like games, video games, you know, like how a lot of just want no risk, they want like guaranteed money rather than like gamble on something, you know. Or a lot of people like chase a life-saving dream like in the West or so. But when I look at the East, you know, like Japan for example, or like Taiwan or China, it's pretty promising, you know, what they are like having there. There's, for example, like in Japan, like a ASMR kind of like focused company or studio. It's called like Wisp, you know. They do like safe for work and like NSFW, like ASMR. But sometimes they do like make their own game, you know, and it's not a live service. It's a single player game, stand alone, you know, offline. Where it's like, okay, the themes are a little bit, maybe a little bit controversial for the West and like for modern audience, you know, but it's like about you are the big brother, you have a little sister's like the romance interest or something like that. And even though it might be for the modern audience controversial, it's not for them. It's like for a specific group of people, you know, single player game rather than a live service like Dream, you know, that is like a money printer. They just like make the best emoto ever, the best setting around it when they sell that. For example, you know. Now, a lot of like things in the eroge kind of like industry are like pretty good as well. Sometimes it's like the biggest JRPG like kind of project, you know, or like that you play as a bad people, and then it like explores like kind of like the thing as like prostitution or so. Like a lot of things that cannot be like that are probably like unlikely to show up like in the Western games kind of thing, like Dona or like the Rand series or so, kind of like that you have like the protagonist is an asshole rather than like someone, oh, I can relate to them, he's just like me, you know. It's just like some asshole, like some kind of badass also that you can like inspire to be that can inspire you to be like the same, like Kazumaki, you know, like something like that, Yakuza. Some of those are AAA, some are like triple like single A or so, like lower A studios, you know. But yeah, but there are like some like kind of veterans in the field, like Ubisoft, like Alicesoft, you know, like I'm really looking forward like to what the Japanese do, even if they don't intend like to make it like English translation or something else, you know. Just gonna have to go like ahoy, I suppose, but when it gets like English, and I will support it, you know, something like that. But it's like interesting, like what they have, you know, that they actually gatekeep, and so. And if I can't really do that much, then I go to the L site, you know, Japanese website that's like kind of blocked in Germany, so I have to use VPN, then I have to like, I have to make a runaway to like support that in the first place. Like, even though I say like there are like some things I cannot support anymore because sometimes they quit, or like I saw like they were good in the beginning, but then they turned out to not be good anymore, then yeah, I stopped support and then maybe support my own dreams. But still, even though world is like a little bit of a mess, you know, life can suck, there's still like some hope in the world actually. And Gabe Newell, like the Steam Valve CEO, you know, is so based. But he's old already, he has white hair. I'm not sure like about his expiration date, like how long he will live, but there's a little bit of hope as long, you know, the hope dies last, right? I suppose. And even like Koishi was like able to find hope for a moment. Did she become friends with Kokoro? In canon, not really. Kokoro hits the guts out of her, but in canon, you know, actually if you like look at the themes, man, the themes, you know, there's a pretty good chance that they can be friends. They have good synergy. But yeah, in any case, that has been all for today, let's say. Thank you all for watching. I will do tomorrow like a read along of like a archive event story, but I think like I consider really like quitting like those read along streams, I must like say, and just read on my own, I suppose. Maybe I'm gonna fit something else in there. Like I have like other ideas, like games I could like stream. In any case, thank you all for watching, have a nice rest of the day, evening, good night. Whatever time zone the world you all are, with that we're gonna say, bye bye.